candidates ask us today, what are the most difficult sections of CAT and how should I prepare about it? Well, let's understand the pattern of the paper. There are two sections. You are supposed to do equally well in both the sections. Whenever IIM Ahmedabad prepares a cut-off list, it says that if you have done equally well in both the sections, I would call you. If you do well in one section, exceptionally well also, and the other section is not equally well, I wouldn't call you. So you have to balance them. Okay? Today the paper is designed in such a manner that you have to maximize your score. So let's understand a section which is your quant section or a math section or whatever you may like to call it, or maths and DI section. That's a scoring section. There are 30 questions which are made available to you. You have to ensure that you are able to maximize your score in such a manner that you are far ahead of your competition there. So that's a tough section, that's a tough question. Obviously, there are questions going to be from various segments, whether it is probability, permutation, or whether it is time, speed and distance, number systems or geometry, any section. You have to ensure that you do not take it as a challenge on yourself in solving a question. It's not an IIT or any other kind of paper where I have to accept as a challenge, I have to maximize my score. So that's a tough section, but you have to maximize your score. There are going to be some questions which are going to be challengers, which are trying to challenge your ability to solve that question. If you think it is tough, ignore it. Just move ahead and try the next question. You don't have to do all questions. You have to ensure that you leave certain questions, but whatever questions you do extremely well. Let me give an example. Last year we had a 100 percentile or Anshul who got the maximum marks in the country in CAT as a paper out of 450. We were tracking his performance in SimCATs and we realized that he does very well in the math section, but he was leaving certain questions in verbal. We sat down with him, counseled him, and told him that you are very good at quant, ensure that you make it a competitive edge, but in your verbal section also you have to do well. Ultimately, he had one question wrong in the quant section, but in verbal he had some questions, but he got the maximum score across the country. So he got 382 out of 450 marks. So there are certain areas which are going to be tough. There are certain sections, some segments, number systems, geometry, permutation, combinations, probability. Those are areas which are tougher. Sometimes they being perceived as tougher areas, they also get you some easy questions out of that. Look at those questions, analyze them. If you think you are able to solve easily, do them. Otherwise, move ahead and solve the next question. You can always come back. Similarly, in the verbal portion, in the entire section, LR is very scoring. Okay, so on an average, if there are 9 questions out of 30 in LR, and you know your LR, you have done your maths pretty well, you have practiced well, you can score very well in that particular section. But should I leave verbal? Should I leave reading comprehension? No, by all means you should attempt that, and you should ensure that there is an incremental marking which is made available. So you have to do well in reading comprehension. If there is a passage which I get and there are 5 questions, should I attempt all questions? I have to maximize my score. If I think that I can answer 3 questions very well, by all means I should attempt those 3 questions very well and maximize my score. If I have to leave one question, leave it and move to the next passage. Okay, don't take chances. Don't take chances. Maximize your score. That's a pitch we would like to ensure.